Happy Halloween, traders, and speaking of spooky stuff, we've got a really spooky day coming up tomorrow. In terms of stuff that we should be very, very careful to watch, we've got ISM manufacturing PMI, JOLTS job openings, and we have ADP non-farm employment change. And that is all just ahead of just a casual FOMC statement in the afternoon. Tomorrow is a wild day, and in terms of market setups, I've got a couple things that are on my watch list, as well as some trades that I'm taking right now that we're going to talk about going into tomorrow's big day. Let's jump in. So first things first, I'll talk to you guys a little bit about a current trade that I am in. I am currently long dollar CAD, and this is sort of a dollar proxy, but I like it specifically against the Canadian dollar for a number of reasons. One of the bigger reasons is that we got a nice notification from the Edge Finder, a very bullish reading, score of plus 11. This is basically saying across the board, we have a real big preference, especially economic figures, to be long dollar compared to the Canadian dollar. So I'm still long dollar CAD. I shared this inside of our Discord channel, and I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. Here it is. So I went long dollar CAD with a stop loss below the lows. Oil price is moving lower, which has a negative impact on the CAD. Of course, they're large exporters of the Canadian dollar. The market's in a nice overall upward trend. I'm dollar bullish overall, as I've made clear on the channel, and stop loss just below market structure. So this is a trade that I'm currently in. If you guys would like to get these notifications, there will be a link down below in the description for you to sign up for our VIP ahead of tomorrow and Friday's massive news days, which we will be actively trading throughout. So join us if you have not already. Now, again, in terms of dollar CAD, I think we continue to push higher, but this is kind of a play on the dollar. I want to be very clear. The dollar itself, not necessarily dollar CAD, the dollar itself has been very range bound. It's been stuck in this range. And I think we get some clarity. Now, we laid out a plan with Tom from Simply Forex on the live stream here this morning about perhaps getting some clarity on the dollar based on Wednesday's big news numbers. So if we get something like ADP that surprises the market, or we get something out of Jerome Powell that causes the market to really move, if we get a pop above and we close outside, this acts to continue to confirm my dollar bullish idea and would tell me any pullbacks I'm headed for, I'm looking for the market to head back up to the previous highs. So I think this is a possible scenario. I think Jerome Powell is going to probably be defensive in his narrative tomorrow, but I'm going to be cautious, because if he says anything that is dovish or the market takes as a sign of, higher for longer kind of getting threatened in terms of that narrative, which has been what has held the dollar so strong, if there's any cracks in that story, I'll probably stop out or trail my profit for dollar CAD out for a win. And if it kind of changes directions, I'll be out of dollar CAD and looking to get short dollar, or perhaps looking at some other things which we'll get into in this video. So again, dollar index for the bears, let me be clear. If we do break underneath, same applies. If we get something dramatically different from Jerome Powell's commentary tomorrow, this could be the start of a reversal in the dollar. So we're in a very, very pivotal spot here as we go into this. Price action is very choppy and waiting for direction to make its mind. So in terms of the gold market, how is all of this playing out? Well, I think the path of least resistance for the gold market is up. Okay, I'll be very clear about that. The overall story here for the gold market has been very bullish in recent times. I was wrong to be bearish a few weeks ago. People in the comment section made sure to let me know about that, but I was bearish. I didn't take any shorts though. So I didn't sell against the gold market move. I just was cautious to any further upside, but I think gold has proven itself. It's really continued to trend higher here, and congrats to the bulls who have caught this move. I did not catch any of the gold movement. However, I did have longs on silver, which of course by sympathy and by proxy, they generally move together, gold and silver. So I had some nice profitable positions in silver that we shared inside of the group. So in terms of where I think gold is going, path of least resistance is back to the highs. Okay, we had this beautiful close, really strong close, and it does not seem, unfortunately, like the tension in the Middle East is just going to roll over right now. And as long as that is a persistent concern, I think it supports gold price, which is a weird thing to talk about in terms of markets, but purely from a market impacting standpoint, the Middle Eastern conflict does continue to elevate concerns, and with that, the price of gold. So another idea here for you guys in terms of gold setups, if we dip down into this support level, I think this area likely holds, as the bulls have had a nice track record recently of holding their gains very well. It breaks out, it holds those lows. It breaks out, it holds those lows. So I think, unless something changes here that breaks us lower, I think the path of least resistance for gold is a continued push back to the highs and perhaps even breaking out higher, especially if we get some weakness from Jerome Powell tomorrow in terms of the hawkish narrative that has been in play. So gold bullish setups around 1992 in my personal opinion, or a breakout retest opportunity could also be very interesting, very intriguing as we go into the end of the week. Now, one thing to complement this idea on gold is take a look at this in terms of the latest COT data. Now, if you don't have an idea of what I'm talking about here, this is the latest commitment of traders data that we have on the Edge Finder. Now, this shows us what hedge funds, aka the pros, what are they buying, what are they selling? Well, in the last filing, we saw a very key indication about gold. There was a big bullish presence for the bulls, right? So for the pros, right? They went long gold at a pretty rapid rate. A 5% net bullish change is pretty significant. S&P 500, same thing. Big bullish uptick. So I'm very curious to watch the S&P as well. Nicely for my little silver trade that I had, also got a little bit of a bid there. So we'll see if silver can catch a bid alongside the others. Here's the Dow. Dow also saw some bullishness while we're on this page, of course. Bonds also saw some nice uptick, and losers in terms of COT data, oil, pound, NAS, NZD, JP225, that's the Nikkei. So, by the way, if you guys would like access to this report or the alert system that we just dropped that comes with COT report updates, if you'd like to get these updates in your Discord channel, I've got some cool stuff for you. All you got to do is shoot us a direct message. There's a link at the very top of the description, and you can get access to the new AI-generated trade alerts from the Edge Finder. So these are ideas being sent to your Discord, just as you saw there a moment ago, where you can now actually see ideas being sent out from the Edge Finder based on COT data, the score flip alerts, which will give you some early indications that perhaps something is changing biases. And then again, like I said, the top setups, which is my personal favorite, which just gives you strong readings. Here's a current example. Aussie yen gave us a bullish reading several hours ago. And let's go take a look at Aussie yen. So we got a nice bullish change on Aussie yen, and that has acted very nicely so far. This is the 4-hour chart, but you can see several hours ago where we got that alert looking really, really good. So I'm liking the Aussie yen. I'm liking, the idea here is that you're getting a notification from the Edge Finder when it spots a new setup pretty quick. So a nice new feature. And if you're an Edge Finder Pro user already, which I know many of my viewers are, if you're somebody who has our software, shoot us a message. We'll get you early access information on how you can get access to these alerts in your Discord as well. Okay. Again, like I said, best way to do that is just shoot us a DM down below. All right, let's keep going. In terms of a market that I am interested in, S&P 500 is something I'm watching. I'm watching for pullbacks. Now, I want to be cautious with this, and I want to be very clear. I have been very wrong about the indices recently. I was bullish way too early, but we're starting to see some signs that bulls are kind of still strong. We hit a longer term level of support at that 4,100 level. 4120, that kind of range. Bulls bounced off this area and were able to kind of gain above this trend line. So I'm watching for bullish setups, and one of the big reasons for this, guys, keep an eye on seasonality. People often overlook just how important it is. So we have the S&P 500's seasonality data here, and you can see that October has been awful. Same with September, and both of these, believe it or not, have stood true to seasonality. So it was actually somewhat expected that we would see some bearishness, at least in terms of historical patterns. Now, seasonality is important, but it's not the holy grail. However, we have a signal that is coming in November that is very intriguing to me, which is, of course, the incredibly bullish historical tendency in the month of November for the S&P 500. So I think, risk to reward, I think we have a good shot at seeing some bounce on the S&P, Same with the NASDAQ, same story over there on that NAS, which might also capture my attention, especially now that we're trading at a longer term pullback. We've seen a nice decline from the highs, by the way. This is down at one point like almost 12%. So it's been a corrective, it's in corrective territory, right? 10% being that corrective area for the NAS, and we're sitting at support. So I'm very curious. I'll be looking for setups, and if I take those trades, like I said, you will see those inside of the Discord if you are a VIP member, or if you're not, you'll see them in upcoming videos once I've taken a trade. So feel free to check out that Discord, like I said, down below in the description. Again, for gold, we'll keep an eye on this. I want to make one point very clear too, though, about gold or the indices or anything for that matter. As we go into this meeting tomorrow, what you can expect is volatility. Whether up or down is yet to be seen. We will see what happens with Jerome Powell. My general bias is going to lean towards the side of I think that he's going to stay defensive, but I think the Fed is done. And if the Fed is done, it's going to be a bullish rally for stocks, not necessarily, all-time highs or anything just off that, but it could hint that some of the worst is behind us, and the stock market could love that. So I'm watching the stock indices heavily. There goes gold as we speak, bouncing off this trend line. Again, areas of interest, breakouts, pullbacks, that sort of thing on the gold market. I do also want to end today by letting you guys know we have a 6-hour stream planned for the entire day tomorrow. My team and I have several guests who are going to be joining on the show, taking over for a little bit. We've got a whole stream planned for tomorrow. The best way to make sure you don't miss any of that is hit that subscribe button, but notice there's also a little bell icon next to it. Click that bell. It will notify you when we do indeed go live tomorrow so that you don't miss out on all the action. We will be trading that live on YouTube. Again, that starts at 8 a.m. Eastern, goes all the way through 2:30 where we've got Fed Jerome Powell going on. So again, lots of stuff happening tomorrow. Join us tomorrow, and thank you guys for watching. If you're looking to improve as a trader, we've got some cool free resources here that I wanted to share as we close today's video. Down below in the description, there is a link to join our Discord channel or our Telegram channel. And we also have our website, a1trading.com, where traders can get access to free course material to help you improve as a trader. Remember, we are also live Monday through Friday on this channel around 9:30 a.m. US Eastern, broadcasting most live news events and that sort of thing. So hope to see you there. And also, we do have a couple videos here showing up on the screen. If either of these seems like it might be helpful to you, then make sure to click here or here, and we'll see you there.